So it's my honor to introduce our guest speaker this evening. Mohammed is an extraordinary young man. I had a chance to sit with him for a little while. He and his family received intensive family services from the Guidance Center over the course of a number of years. His mom knew the family needed some help, reached out to the Department of Children and Families, and she was ultimately referred to the Guidance Center. The kids, the parents, received help they needed from us and were able to stay together. And if you were sitting at the table with me, what an awesome, wonderful, warm family. So I'm going to let Mohammed Uddin tell his own story. So Mohammed, please come up here.
Thank you so much for that introduction. Just give me 1 second. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you all for coming today and supporting the efforts of the Guidance Center. So my name is Mohammed Uddin Tanbir. I am the son of Mamoda Begum and Muhammad Rahman. I am the oldest brother of Rahim Uddin, Samira, and Shanira Begum. So where does our story start? I was 12 years old, living in the Port, as it's known in Cambridge, Massachusetts. I'll begin in the 5th grade. I was having to think of an excuse to tell my friends why I wasn't taking the orange pumpkin school bus anymore. I changed now to the chocolate cone. Now this was a big deal. Everyone really prided themselves in their school buses. And my friends, they questioned, why was I changing school buses? And to them, I couldn't really give them a proper answer. I questioned it myself. I wasn't going to the familiar neighborhood of Washington Elms, but completely across town. My siblings and I had been put into foster care and taken away from our parents. In the beginning, I wasn't really comprehending all that was going on. All I knew is that I carried with me a sickening feeling. It carried on into my schoolwork, my social life, and everything else that seemed to have remained the same. Actually, if I could make a correction, nothing really felt the same. In foster care, I wasn't going to my room after school. I wasn't eating my mom's cooking for dinner, and I was forced to be the only familiarity my young siblings knew. On the other side, my parents, they were struggling with their relationship. They were dealing with the gossiping of the Bengali community, and they were forced to, feel that same emptiness that we felt. At this point in our life, there was many people telling us that they cared for us, that they wanted nothing but the best for us. And that might have all been true, or maybe it wasn't. But in my eyes, these were just people that were trying to take me away from my family. Months leading into a couple of years, being pulled in and out of foster care, my siblings and I would wonder, why is this happening to us? Why could we not be the normal kids that our friends seem to have been and have that normal life that they all seem to have? Why was it that some days I had to be pulled out of class to meet with the school counselor? My friends would ask again. Again, shame would overtook me. Whatever excuse I could come up with that day, I passed on. I remember one of the first nights in foster care. We all were sleeping. Samira, she was in actually a different foster house. But my little siblings and I, we were all trying to sleep. None of us could really sleep. So we all huddled on the carpet floor, hugged one another, spoke very little that night, and eventually fell asleep together. Through the months and years, my family and I developed a strong resistance to whoever was with us at that time, these people trying to help us. At the time, we had many issues. My mom was struggling with some of her mental health, my father struggling to control his anger and emotions, and my siblings and I burdening them with our actions. It all culminated into an unsafe home. But still, to me, this was my home. No one who was working with us seemed to understand that. For all the violence, all the arguing, fighting, police calls, this was still the place that I called my home. I would send a prayer before bed to Allah to one day return us home and let us have the same normal life that all my friends seem to have. It's very cliche, but my thoughts and prayers were answered. Along came the wonderful Kim and her partner Amanda. They were two clinicians that worked for the Guidance Center. In the beginning, in our minds, they were just like everyone else. Just some people here that said they wanted to help. Probably the same faces that would be assisting us in taking us out of our home. But this time it was different. My parents give full credit to the Guidance Center. When they began to work with my family, it was the first time someone took the opportunity to hear their voices, concerns, and struggles. My parents at the time spoke very little English, so it was hard to translate what was going on, and often what was being said went to deaf ears. When the Guidance Center worked with us, an interpreter was present. My parents could finally explain the thoughts and feelings that they had. This was pivotal in healing their relationship of my mother and father. The Guidance Center was able to help my parents in receiving professional counseling to help work through the depression, anger management, and the relationship struggles that they faced. I remember that during one of their in-house meetings, all of us would try to sneak downstairs and see what's going on, see what all the adults are talking about. And for the first time, when I went downstairs, I could hear my parents talking about their emotions. Now, I don't know about you guys, but to a Bengali family, you never talk about your emotions and feelings. You keep it inside, which isn't the most healthiest thing. But the Guidance Center really helped us in finding out that's okay. It's okay to have emotion. It's okay to have feelings. It's okay to talk about them and process through. At the same time that the Guidance Center was working on the relationships of my parents, they were working on the development of 4 really young kids at the time. In my house, no one really felt like a kid. Nothing was kid-like. The Guidance Center helped us to reveal what a kid actually does and what we should be doing. I love to play basketball and football. The Guidance Center helped me and my sister get involved in after-school activities. Another program called Early Intervention helped my younger siblings process their emotions and develop themselves, very crucial for very young children. They also helped me and my sister go to an overnight camp. It was Camp Rotary. I can still repeat the camp song, "Hey, Rotary, ooh, ah, you gotta know, we're the junior boys." It was the first time in a really long time that I felt like a normal kid, and nobody questioned why I was going to the guidance counselor or why I was being pulled out of class. I could just enjoy myself at overnight camp. I remember that one of the nights there, I had gotten some mail. Now, I was at overnight camp, and I don't think anybody really knew that I was there. So to me, I was like, who's giving me mail? But I opened it anyways. When I opened the note, it was from my mom and dad. It was misspelled, crooked, not very long, but I read on. It said, "Tanbir, I miss you. I love you. Have fun and eat. Mom and Dad." I read it over and over that night and eventually fell asleep to it. Unlike most nights, I cried myself to sleep, but these tears were of joy. It was the first time where I didn't feel sad going to bed, but I felt happy because, I felt the emotion of my parents, and that was just amazing. I give all the credit to the Guidance Center for helping to save my family. Now that I am older, I can see the totality of my family's situation. I give credit to the to the Guidance Center to help saving this first-generation immigrant family, struggling with mental health, abuse, fighting, and everything in between. It was not easy, but they kept pushing. They understood, listened to us. They wanted us to be loving, caring, a normal family. They recognized us to have that potential. For so many families, this isn't the story. They do not have the resources of our story. They do not have access to the Guidance Center to guide them to be this story. It is my hope that I can echo the sentiments of those other families and help them just like the Guidance Center helped us. Without the Guidance Center, I don't believe my family would be where we are today. Now, where are we today? Well, I stand before you, and I represent a successful, happy, loving family. I am right now in my undergrad at UMass Boston, double majoring in political science and the philosophy of public policy. One day you'll probably see me running for something and campaigning. My sister Samira, she's a junior at Cambridge Ring and Latin and going through the college process. Rahim and Shanira are in 7th grade, killing it in the classroom and killing it in their sports, basketball and lacrosse, respectively. My mom, she recently got her driver's license, something that's been on her bucket list for a while. You'll see her zooming around all of Cambridge, dropping us off where we need to go. I love you for that, thank you. And my dad, he's working at Tufts Dining Hall, and I have a lot of my friends who go there and says he hooks it up all the time. As a family, we get on one another's nerves, argue, bicker, but now we're able to discuss things, and we're able to process these emotions, and we finally feel like a normal family that continuously is able to love one another. We have dinner together, go on long road trips. We're doing all the little things that a family does. It finally feels normal. From the deepest core of my heart, I give thanks to the Guidance Center. They were able to keep us home, bring us home, and help to make my home more of a home. And finally, thank you to all of you, because you are the people that support the Guidance Center and make these stories possible. You make an unsuccessful family on the brink come back from that and be that successful family that we all want to see. Bravo. From all the families that you have helped and will continue to help, I say thank you from the deepest part of my heart. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.